In this video, I'll show you the best tech stack for cold email as of Q4 2024. These are all softwares and technologies I use myself or have used in the past, and I recommend these for clients depending on their specific needs. But I'm going to be going over sending tool, data, email notification, no-code automation, AI personalization, spin tags, and web scraping. These are all the important areas, and I have mentioned tools that are all really good, time-tested, and will be, for the most part, affordable. So, regarding the sending tool, also known as the sequencer, I use Instantly. Some people also like SmartLead. SmartLead is also a great software, especially if you're doing stuff on the API side of things. But I find that Instantly does the job. I'm used to it. My clients like it because it's very user-friendly and easy to get into. So yeah, that's why I use Instantly. Also, it has a great support, by the way. Now, I have heard some people in my network, sort of prominent individuals within the cold email community, say that Instantly has been, on average, outperforming SmartLead when it comes to email deliverability. And I think that's true. Because a lot of the users of SmartLead have been complaining, not so much now, but they used to about a month ago, about deliverability. They weren't landing, reply rates dropped, etc. So historically, Instantly has had better deliverability as well. So there's that element to it as well. But Instantly is great. Now, what I don't recommend is that you start using something like HubSpot, MailChimp, Lemlist, etc. The thing about some of these tools is that most of them are not designed specifically for B2B cold email outreach, which Instantly and SmartLead are. Right? So the founders, the teams behind these two software tools, all they do every day is just like study how they can improve their tool to maximize stuff such as email deliverability, which is not something these other tools have a large focus on because they're used for so many other purposes. So these tools are hyper focused on stuff such as deliverability, which is very important. And they have features for that, they have warm-up pools, etc. So just go with these. They're not that expensive, so I would definitely make that investment. Now, on the data side of things, this is where it becomes very individual because it depends on the type of prospects you want to target. Now, two databases that work for most companies are Apollo and LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And the way that you can think about this is any individual that you could expect to find on LinkedIn, you can also find on these databases because they directly source their data from LinkedIn. And this also means that if you are targeting a specific ICP, and the people within that ICP are not people who typically make LinkedIn accounts or that are not typically active on LinkedIn, then you might want to sort of find other databases because there's a good chance you can't find their data on Apollo or LinkedIn Sales Navigator. If you're targeting tech companies, SaaS companies, funded companies, Crunchbase is great. I use Crunchbase all the time. It has very good continuous updating of funding rounds. It has a lot of tech companies, SaaS companies. It has good industry filtering, in my opinion. Better than Apollo, in my opinion. So yeah, Crunchbase is great. But for finding people data, so actual like email accounts, etc., it's not the best. So one workflow you can do is you can scrape domains on Crunchbase and you can enrich them with Apollo. It's one way to do it. Also, Getlacta.com, Wellfound.com, these are all also good for these targets. Now, for local businesses, I personally use Outscraper, and Outscraper has a bunch of different features. The one I've been using the most is their Google Maps scraper, so you can find information on local businesses. If you're targeting e-commerce, store leads, very, very big database of Shopify stores, etc. Huge database. Now, again, the contact information on store leads is mostly just going to be info at emails. So again, you might want to enrich the domains from store leads with another tool. Also, BrandNav is also good. Now, if you want to find companies with specific technologies, right? So companies that are using specific technologies that can be sort of scanned on their website, you want to get Built With. Excellent tool for that purpose. Now, if you want to find non-saturated data or rare data, if you will, so aka non-LinkedIn data, you have a few options. So you can do industry-specific databases. I know that there are databases out there that are like hyper-focused on restaurants, for example, right? It's just a restaurant database. You can also use company directories, also a great idea. Again, here you would probably have to find a specific workflow for that if it doesn't contain email addresses, just just so you're aware of that. But again, it's a great way of actually finding these finding data that is not saturated and that people haven't really looked into that much. So for email verification, which is obviously very important, you have to understand the basics of email verification if you want to do cold email. And the best tool for that, in my opinion, is Million Verifier. So I've just found it to be excellent. It's very pleasant to use. I've had some bad experiences with email verification providers before. So, Million Verifier was a breath of fresh air, and they also have very competitive prices. For no-code automation, you can use Make. Whatever type of automation you want to make, such as a flow that notifies a Slack channel if somebody's interested, you can do that on Make. So you can be creative there. AI personalization, I use Clay. I think that Clay is an excellent tool. Some people say it's overpriced, but the fact is you can actually get the most affordable package, and you can just connect your ChatGPT API code and you can do a bunch of crazy stuff from there. But if you really want to get granular and you want to get specific on the AI personalization, I think it's a good investment to also buy some Clay credits, which can be used for all types of interesting stuff, such as their Clayagent feature, which is essentially an AI web scraper that Clay has. So you could be searching their websites, find different types of interesting information. It could be press releases, it could be awards they've won, it could be case studies. You can find all types of stuff on their website. You can then take that data, import it into Clay. You can use another ChatGPT function to do some kind of interesting, crazy first line with that. So there's a lot of interesting stuff you can do with Clay. I think it's well worth it. It's definitely something to look into, and I think it's the future of cold email. I've said this in a bunch of my videos, is that ChatGPT 4 Mini is here now, right? So there's a bunch of ways to get this data, use AI in a very affordable way, right? It's not expensive anymore, and it's getting better and better. So definitely recommend this. For Spintax, and for those who are not familiar with Spintax, it's essentially just randomization of certain words within an email sequence to mix up the way that things are formulated while keeping the same general meaning of the email. And this is simply just to increase deliverability, because if you're sending the same exact emails every single time, you're going to get what's called copy fatigue, which is essentially when the email servers, they see the same email being sent again and again, and it's an unnatural sending pattern, and it's going to reduce your sending reputation. For web scraping, if you're going to do like basic scraping, like just scraping some database, right, like Easy Scraper, IDS, Instant Data Scraper is fine. If you want to create some more advanced flows for web scraping, you can use Bardeen, which is essentially a web scraping software that can be programmed to do certain things, like click on this link, then scrape that, then go back, then do this and that, right? So it can do a bunch of different interesting things. So this was an overview of the technology stack. Again, if you want to have these implemented within your company, if you want us to sort of build this whole system and infrastructure and ecosystem for your company, we'd be more than happy to do so. You can book a meeting down below and we can see how we would set up your system. So that's what we do. We set up systems. It's a one-time fee. We consult you on how to use it. We hand over the keys to you. So yeah, hope that was helpful, and thanks for watching.